Well, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to officially welcome you to the 2025 Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame induction ceremony. What an awesome crowd we have here tonight. What an amazing group of individuals up here on the stage. This is going to be a fun night. Well, my name is Paul Peck, sportscaster, voice of the UB Bulls, and host of Beat the Champ. But tonight, I really have the best job in Buffalo because I get to stand up here and watch this amazing group of sports legends take their rightful place in the Hall of Fame. This 35th, there you go, just the first of what shall be many times we give them a nice round of applause. This 35th class of inductees includes a bowler, a wrestler, a scorer, a shooter, a skier, an NFLer, a manager, and a broadcaster. And that variety, representing 7 different sports and the sports media, is what makes this a true Hall of Fame. You could shine anywhere from Lackawanna to Lockport to Lambeau to Lake Placid. And if you're good enough, you'll be in. So let's meet this year's class of inductees. Today, her home is the courtroom as one of New York's top lawyers. Back at Clarence High School, they made room on the court for one of Western New York's most dominant girls basketball players. Let's all rise for Kathy Sweets. I didn't really mean all rise. That was a legal, judicial analogy, but that's okay. We do not have, we got plenty of time for standing ovations as we go on. Is that the crowd that you guys are tonight? Very, very literal. Is that what we're dealing with tonight? Well, he started going one-on-one at 9:30, kicked it up to 11-on-11 at 5:50, while breaking it down at 6-and-11 on 4 and 7. The analysis, the insight, and the humor were always 100%. It all adds up to radio and television sportscaster John Murphy. It's a Buffalo summertime staple. Baseball, the ballpark, Buster, and a beer. None of it happens without the genius of longtime Bison's general manager and executive, Mike Buchkowski. Please welcome the president of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, John Maddock. A shooting and scoring star at the Nichols School, she lit the lamp and sparked the growth of girls hockey in Western New York. Say hello to Megan Sittler. An Olympian and a World Cup champion mogul skier. There are no more bumps in the road as this Ellicottville native smoothly skis right into the Hall of Fame. Welcome, Jillian Votley. He was a mat master at Olean High School, then a grappling guru as a big-time college coach. From the sport of wrestling, it's Claire Anderson. This Lackawanna Lane legend has been throwing strikes as a pro bowling champion while sparing no effort to grow the game in Buffalo. It's bowler Jack Jurek. Our final inductee who is unable to attend tonight is Niagara Falls native UB Bulls legend and Green Bay Packers Super Bowl champion, James Starks. These 8 inductees, plus 4 posthumous honorees and a team of distinction, are the 35th class of inductees into the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. All right, it looks as though everyone is in their seats, so it is time to bring the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame trophy to the stage. We are ready to begin. Please rise for the presentation of the colors by the Erie County Sheriff's Honor Guard as the Hall of Fame trophy makes its way forward. To sing our national anthem, please welcome Jude Caserta.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. And the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please remain standing as the colors are retired. Father Michael Lamarca, pastor of the Roman Catholic community of the Tonawandas and Catholic chaplain to the Buffalo Bills, will now deliver our invocation.
Good and gracious God, we thank you for the opportunity to come together this evening to celebrate the accomplishments of the 2025 inductees into the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. We are grateful for the gift of sport and what it can do in bringing together individuals as teams and strangers, as well as fans throughout the communities of Western New York, providing unity, celebration, and lifelong memories. It is through sport that we are able to celebrate the gift of life in which you have given each one of us, and use the gift of our bodies for physical achievements that would not be possible without your blessings. We pray this evening in gratitude, especially for inductees Joey Giambra, Tom Montemage, Paul Owens, and Jim Peel, who celebrate at the Eternal Banquet with you, and are thankful for the impact they have had on our communities through the gift of sport. Bless the food and fellowship which we share this evening, and we ask for your continued blessings upon all men and women who have contributed to the welfare of sports in the greater Buffalo area by performance, time, and effort, both at the amateur and professional levels, especially this year's inductees. We ask finally, Lord, for your blessings upon all veterans who have served our country, that we celebrate this day, Veterans Day. We thank you for their service and selfless sacrifice for us, so we can enjoy freely the gift of sport in our country. We ask this as we ask all good things in the name of Jesus Christ, our risen Lord. Amen.
I think everyone can have their seats right now. Thank you very much. The silent auction will close at 7:30, and the auction can be accessed using your smartphone and the QR codes on the tent cards on your tables. Also, you can purchase raffle tickets from the volunteers making their way around the room. So please go ahead and begin enjoying your meal as we start the program. A quick reminder that there are 25 minutes or so left in that silent auction, so check on your bids and make sure you get the items that you want and get those raffle tickets. Ready? Yep. Right now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the president of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, John Maddock.
Thank you, Paul. On behalf of the 49 active and honorary members of our board of directors, it is my privilege to welcome our inductees, their families and friends, and all of our guests to our 35th annual dinner and auction. Congratulations to each of you. We look forward to celebrating this evening the accomplishments and memories of this year's inductees. Today is Veterans Day. This past summer, my wife Priscilla and I had the privilege of visiting Pointe du Hoc, Omaha Beach, and the Normandy American Cemetery and Memorial. It was not only a remarkable experience, but a profoundly emotional one. Standing before 9,385 white crosses, perfectly aligned across 172 acres of pristine lawn, is a powerful and humbling reminder of sacrifice. With great respect and gratitude, I would like to ask all current and former members of our military and their families to please stand and be recognized. Thank you very much for your service. I've had the honor of serving on this board for many years, and this, my final year as president, I am once again reminded of the tremendous talent represented at our head table. Each class we induct amazes us, and this year is certainly no exception as we celebrate our local heroes. This is also a history-making class. For the first time in our 35-year history, we are inducting in the same class 3 very talented female athletes. Congratulations to Megan and Kathy and Jillian for their groundbreaking efforts in bringing women's sports to the point they are today. Before we begin this evening's program, I would like to recognize several individuals and partners who helped make this event and our ongoing mission possible. To the staff of the Buffalo Convention Center, thank you for hosting us and serving our guests with such professionalism. To Jason Krantz and the team at RPM, thank you for producing another first-class program. The full video will be available on our website at a later date. A warm welcome to Gary Barkowski and Max Montello from New Era CAP at Table 45. We are thrilled to have New Era joining us as a full sponsor beginning in 2026. At Table 6, we are joined by our friends from Canal Bank, now in their second year as a sponsor. Thank you to President Vince Catrona and the entire Canal Bank team for your continued support. And at Table 5, Rick Stryker and the team from Dave and Adams, Card World, thank you not only for serving once again as our presenting sponsor, but also for hosting our Hall of Fame display at your Sheridan Drive location in Williamsville. If you have yet to visit, I encourage you to do so. It's a remarkable 10,000 square foot exhibition that beautifully tells the story of sports in Western New York. Let's give all of our sponsors a big round of applause. Additional thanks are also due to the Buffalo Renaissance Foundation for supporting our Hall of Fame display, Erie County for its cultural grant, Iliot Apollo's Restaurant for their generous wine donation, members of our Media Advisory Committee joining us tonight. Our board is truly a working board, and I am proud to serve alongside such dedicated individuals. I would now like to ask all of our board members to please stand and be recognized. On behalf of our inductees, thank you for your commitment. I would also like to recognize Event Chair Ann Brooker and our Table Assignment Committee. Managing ticketing and seating for an event of this size is no small task. Thank you for your exceptional work. While tonight is a celebration of our inductees, we also take great pride in supporting the future of sports in Western New York through our Amateur Sports Development Fund. Since 1993, we have awarded nearly $275,000 to amateur athletes, teams, and organizations in need of support. Proceeds from tonight's event go directly to this fund, and even a small donation can make a meaningful difference in a young athlete's journey. Information on how to contribute is available in your program and on your table. We also extend special thanks this evening to Mary Wilson and the Philadelphia Phillies for their generous contributions. This year, the board has awarded $20,000 to the following recipients: the Alden Bulldogs Booster Club, the Bomb Squad Academy Center, the Girls Sports Foundation, the Champion Project High Five, Gliding Stars of Western New York, Lighthouse Soccer League, Hope Chest, Holland Raiders, Springville Youth Football, The City's Best, and Adam Page. Congratulations to all of our recipients, and once again, congratulations to our inductees. Thank you for your support, and please enjoy the rest of your evening.
All right, as you continue to enjoy your dinners, we're going to move along with our program. I do want to let you know that the auction is now closed, officially closed on the auction, so you can check and see if you won or maybe didn't win some of those amazing auction items that were out there. So good luck with all of that. I would like to ask our Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame board members to assist in assembling the Hall of Fame members to the left of the stage. Well, over the past year, we have said goodbye to some longtime friends and members of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. Bill Berge, Don Bossler, Art Clark, Danny DiLiberto, Mark Finucane, Fred Hartrick, Frank Layden, Jim Schrader, Art Cerati, and Craig Wolfley. At this time, I ask you all to join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. The Dick Gallagher Memorial Award was created to honor the legacy of one of the most amazing individuals to ever be a part of the Western New York community. Here to present the award is board member and president of the NFADA, Paul Stasiak. Well, anyone who knew Dick would tell you that he was humbled by the recognition and was appreciative that others with his same values and commitment to Western New York sports would be honored annually. Dick was a simple man who always believed in what good he could bring to others, especially to the youth of Western New York. On behalf of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, Dick Gallagher Legacy Award Committee, and the Gallagher family, we are pleased to recognize this year's honoree. His name is Ken Stolt. Ken served as physical education instructor for 32 years, first at Warsaw Central Schools, then with the Akron Central Schools. He received the Section 6 Sportsmanship Award and received Coach of the Year accolades for football. A big round of applause for Ken Stolt, our Dick Gallagher Legacy Award winner. Well, it takes a lot of time, effort, and resources to manage an event of this magnitude. On behalf of the board, a special thanks goes out to our committee chairs, Andrea Ball and her group of volunteers, our area mascots, the Damon cheerleaders, and the Buffalo Gills alumni. We also want to thank WGR Radio for their live remote here today and for hosting our Hall of Fame Spotlight Show, and the Buffalo News for the showcase stories they ran throughout the summer and the fall. Well, there are many Hall of Fame inductees here tonight that we would like to recognize, and to introduce them, here is board member and the voice of Salem Field, Tom Burns.
Thank you very much, Paul Peck. And who wants to meet some of our former inductees? Come on over. We're going to come over one by one. I will introduce them, give them a round of applause before we get... Come on, Vic. Let's go. Pick it up. If a running back went that slow, you'd be all over him. One of the finest NFL scribes, Mr. Vic Carucci. Basketball standout, Sugar Ray Hall. Just slide down. Basketball referee, Benji Blumen. Yeah, you don't want to follow that guy. Great football coach, Len Jankowitz. Please welcome UB and CFL football, Don Gilbert. One of our board members, inductee last year, Warren Gelman. Great Nichols hockey coach, Frank Sikeli. Thanks, Frank. Archery, how about that? David Rinn. Please welcome basketball coach, Dan Bazzani. Please welcome multi-sport coach, Pete Tonseline. Member of last year's class, Walt Stefani. Great volleyball coach. You all know him, Baby Joe Macy. Please welcome basketball coach from 2016, Sal Biscaglia. How about basketball standout, Willie Hutch Jones. Great coach, Canisius College softball, Mike Rappel. Great basketball standout and coach, Kara Raybaum. How about another basketballer, Dorothy Jones from our Hall of Fame. Please welcome my pal, Yvette Angel. How are you, Yvette? Please welcome Dick Harvey, ladies and gentlemen. You see her running on the road races, winner of the Buffalo Marathon, Dr. Bridget Nyland. Please welcome member of the Buffalo Bills, Steve Tasker. Paralympian Adam Page. Trainer to the stars, Mr. Bud Carpenter. I would also be remiss if I did not mention the member of the class of 2002, Mr. Bob Rich Jr., who is with us today, along with Mitty Rich. And they're sitting at a table with former Mets manager Terry Collins. Ladies and gentlemen, how about a round of applause for the former inductees of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
All right, you guys, you have plenty of time to chit-chat with everybody after the event. We got some honorees to get going on here. You leave these guys, they'll stand up here the whole time and start telling stories. Well, thank you, Tom, and thank you to all the of our great Hall of Famers that are here today. All right, it is now time for us to begin the formal program, and on behalf of our sponsor, Dave and Adams Card World, welcome officially to the 35th Annual Induction Ceremony of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. Our first presentation tonight is the Team of Distinction Award.
Kenmore West football is the 2025 Team of Distinction. From 1967 through 1969, the Blue Devils dominated Western New York high school football, compiling a record of 23-1. Ken West captured consecutive Niagara Frontier football titles in 1967 and 1968. But in the 1969 season, not only did the team go undefeated, they also outscored their opponents by a score of 389 to 67, a record that still stands in Western New York football history. The defense was under the direction of head coach Jules Yakupovich, who had developed a defensive game plan known as the Radar Defense, a scheme that was later used by several NFL teams. The Blue Devils were voted the New York State Football Association champions and received the #1 ranking in the New York Sports Writers Association rankings, as well as the national champions based on computer calculation. The Kenmore West football teams from 1967 through 1969, the 2025 Team of Distinction.
All right, please welcome the 33 former members of those teams to accept the award from our board member, John Boutte. Come on up, gentlemen. On behalf of the Kenmore West High School football teams, 1967 to 69, representing them is Rob Santamaria, captain of the 1967 team. Let's give all these guys, all 33 members, a nice round of applause. They are the Team of Distinction. Are we huddling up here? Is that what's going on here? One more huddle for our Team of Distinction. No three-point stances, please. None of those. Awesome, guys. Thank you very much. Congratulations. Our first inductee in the class of 2025 is Claire Anderson.
Claire Anderson's legacy is one of excellence, leadership, and lifelong commitment to the sport of wrestling. His wrestling journey began at Olean High School, where he was a 3-time state place winner and captured the New York State Wrestling Championships in 1979 and 1980.
Anderson from Olean wins 7-6, the New York State 126-pound champion.
During his senior year, he was recognized for winning the most matches in New York State public high school history. Anderson continued his wrestling career at Auburn University, earning All-America honors and placing 6th nationally at 134 pounds. Anderson then transferred to Oklahoma State University, where he became a cornerstone of the Cowboys wrestling program. At Oklahoma State, Anderson captured the NCAA championship in 1983. He helped lead the Cowboys to a conference title win in 1983 and 1984 during a historic stretch that included 44 straight dual meet victories and 22 consecutive home wins. Anderson concluded his collegiate career with a 99, 24, and 4 record and 3 All-America honors. Anderson transitioned into coaching. In 1997, he was named head coach of the Duke Blue Devils, a position he held for 15 years. Under his leadership, Duke wrestling reached new heights. In 2003 and 2004, 4 of his wrestlers were individual ACC champions, and Anderson was named ACC Coach of the Year by his peers. Anderson emphasized academic excellence and personal development, consistently producing student athletes who earned NWCA All-Academic Honors and All-ACC Academic Team Selection. In recognition of his holistic coaching approach, he received the prestigious Bob Bubb Coaching Excellence Award in 2007. In 2005, Anderson led the National Wrestling Coaches Association's All-Star Tour through Beijing, further underscoring his standing in the international wrestling community. He was inducted into the Western New York Wrestling Coaches Association Hall of Fame in 2006 and the Section 6 Sports Hall of Fame in 2023. Claire Anderson, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction is Black Lisle and Haberfield LLC and Cutco, both represented by Jim Myers, former Olean High School wrestling coach.
It's part his fault that I'm here, a big part of it, and my brother's over there. So I really had no choice but to start wrestling. I had 2 older brothers that started wrestling at the high school, and they would always set me up with matches with the local kids, see who could win and different things like that. And I also had 2 sisters that could whip me, so I took up wrestling. Fortunately, I had a lot of success. After high school wrestling, had the state championship my last year. A coach came up to me from Auburn University, and he said, "We'd like you to visit." And I go, "Auburn, New York?" He said, "No, Alabama." And I equally said, "Well, I don't really know where that is either, but I'd love to go." And fortunately, I did well. I All-American there, and after All-American there, our team took 9th in the nation that year. And unfortunately, the football team didn't do so well, and they fired the coach, the AD, and we got rid of the wrestling program. It made sense. But that's what happened. Unfortunately, I was able to go out to Oklahoma State. And wrestling is pretty popular, especially in Pennsylvania and New York. But it's like one of the key things down there in Oklahoma. And wrestling there was phenomenal. I was on a team with multiple national champions. 2 wrestlers are going to be former or not future Olympic champions. One, Kenny Mundy, was the first black ever Olympic champion. And then John Smith, a teammate of mine who won 6 world titles, 2 Olympics, and he was one of the greatest wrestlers ever. And our team was undefeated in my last 2 years, a 77-0 or something like that. And to show how serious sports is there, they fired the coach because he took 2nd. So quite a different thing. And so now I want to transition into some of the funny things that happened in there. And one of the best things, or one of the funnest things, was cheering on a fellow we may know around here, Thurman Thomas. He was at Oklahoma State. He was breaking all those records. And I remember, I believe it was his senior year, he pulled himself out of the lineup, and the student body started booing because he was going to go for a national record that year. And he came off the field, and there's another fella named Barry Sanders that was called out on the field, and he touched down, and so that was a lot of fun. I was also I'm saying this because wrestling and sports has opened up so many opportunities for me to meet a lot of different folks. But one of them, my roommate, who was an engineer major, was working on the side with another track athlete, and they wrote their first song, and Garth Brooks became very popular on that song, and so that was pretty cool. And so, you know, trying to go back to how important sports is, I'm going to try to bring the value of sports through this statement. That's when T. Boone Pickens gave Oklahoma State Athletic Department, not the whole university, athletic department, $165 million, or he donated to the university. And a sportscaster, somebody mused, well, you could probably go a long way to solving world hunger. You might be able to cure some cancers or beat OU in football. Beat OU in football. And so it is important. Sports is incredibly important because often these institutions and all these very important things are filled with athletes. And so I appreciate so much the Greater Buffalo Hall of Fame, what they do, not just for the hoopla here, but all the sports that they support. And so I'm very thankful for that, and thank you much.
Thank you, Claire. Congratulations. Garth Brooks, that's pretty cool, huh? That's a solid brush with fame there. Good job. Let's see if we might be able to top that before the night is over with. Our next inductee into the class of 2025 is Joey Giambra.
The son of Sicilian immigrants, Joey Giambra was born in Buffalo in 1931. Giambra was a middleweight boxer and was known as one of the top boxers in his weight class. Despite this, he was never given a shot in a championship bout, earning him the title of uncrowned king of the middleweight division. During his career, Giambra fought and defeated most of the top contenders. He beat Rocky Castellani twice, but it was Castellani who was given the opportunity to fight in an elimination bout for the world title against Sugar Ray Robinson. He also defeated future middleweight champion Joey Giardello in 2 out of 3 matches.
But the close decision goes to Joey Giambra. His rousing rally in the late rounds turned the table.
And claimed on a popular Minneapolis morning show that he was robbed in the first bout. On August 26, 1955, world middleweight champion Bobo Olson agreed to fight Giambra in a non-title match on national TV. Giambra rocked the champion throughout the fight, but at the end, Olson was awarded a split decision win. Giambra retired after 77 fights with a 65-10-2 record with 31 knockouts. He won his first 17 fights while half of his losses came in the final 8 bouts of his career. After retiring as a boxer, he later became a referee and was the 3rd man in the 1977 Jerry Quarry Lorenzo Zanin heavyweight bout. Giambra was inducted into Buffalo's Ring 44 Hall of Fame in 1999 and posthumously into the National Boxing Hall of Fame in 2020. Joey passed away in Las Vegas in 2018. Joey Giambra, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction is Niagara Scenic Tours, represented by Hadley Boss Fisher. And speaking on behalf of his father is Joey Giambra Jr.
Hello, how's everybody doing tonight? Good? Awesome. Just wanted to thank, first of all, the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame for getting us all out here. And Lou, thank you so much for all of your time and your love. Thank you all the board members, for your vote for my dad. He's super proud to be from Buffalo. he didn't like the cold, and I kind of understand now. I'm from Las Vegas, me and my sister originally, so get it. Thank you also to Lou. Lou, he's been our host. He's been awesome. Again, all the board here, fantastic. All of the families and all of you for winning this. That's awesome for all of you and your families. It's a great legacy. My dad was a man of honor, a man of love and integrity. He was very truthful. He was very honest. To him, it was God, family, and country. And despite all of his Hall of Fame inductions and everything else, he was a dad. He was a great father. He's missed tremendously. We love him, we miss him, and he's here with us in spirit. He loves all of you. He would blow you kisses tonight. So thank you, all of you, including Bob Keiko and Ring 44. Thank you guys all for your love. And again, my dad was a very honest man, and he wrote a poem that was actually published by the National Library of Poetry. It's called The Honest Man by Joey Giambra. My sister is going to read it.
The Honest Man by Joey Giambra. I will not cry, I will but speak. I will but tell of what I seek. A friend I need, he will not come. To your demand, I will succumb. The time grows near of what I ask. It seems to be a burdensome task. Yet in my mind, I know it well. Far down below, it casts a spell. Why must it be, I ask the sea, as waves come crashing over me? My life will end, I won't pretend. I need the word of thee to send. Should I live and stay alive? Perhaps it's best to just survive. And then somehow, I'm sure I can, solve the puzzle of finding the honest man. Dad's dream was always to make his story into a movie. It would be pretty good, don't you think? Thank you guys for having us. Thank you, God and Dad. You did it. You did it back home in your hometown in Buffalo. Thank everyone, and bless you guys and your families, and thank you for having us tonight.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Welcome back home, Dad.
Our next inductee into the class of 2025 is James Starks.
A native of Niagara Falls, New York, James Starks was a three-sport standout at Niagara Falls High School, competing in track and field, basketball, and football. On the track, he was one of the top performers in New York State in the long jump and the 100-meter dash. He was also the critical sixth man on the team's 2005 state championship basketball team. However, it was on the gridiron that Starks proved to be nearly unstoppable. As a dual threat, he ran for 1,048 yards and threw for over 600 yards, earning all Western New York honors as a senior, and served as a team captain for 3 years. Following his graduation, Starks attended the University at Buffalo. As a member of the Bulls, he was an elite back in the Mid-American Conference. He was the first UB freshman to earn all MAC recognition and the first 1,000-yard rusher in the Bulls Division 1A era. He set a career rushing record with 3,140 yards and scored 40 total touchdowns, with back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons as a sophomore and junior. He earned second-team All-MAC honors as a freshman and sophomore and was named to the All-MAC first team as a junior. Despite not playing in his senior year due to a shoulder injury, Starks was drafted in the 6th round by the Green Bay Packers. In his first season with Green Bay, Starks was a key offensive weapon in the postseason. He broke the Packers' postseason record for rushing yards in a wild-card game against the Philadelphia Eagles and scored a touchdown against the Chicago Bears in the NFC Championship game.
His first in the NFL, and it comes in the NFC Championship game.
In Super Bowl 45, he rushed for 52 yards, helping the Packers secure the championship over the Pittsburgh Steelers. In his 7 NFL seasons with the Packers, Starks had 2,506 regular season rushing yards, 1,017 receiving yards, and 15 touchdowns. He added another 523 rushing yards during the postseason. Starks retired after the 2016 season and was inducted into the Niagara Falls High School Hall of Fame in 2023. James Starks, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction is Harder, Seacrest and Emery and Personius Melber, represented by Craig Whitland and Scott Hapeman. And speaking on behalf of James Starks is his brother, Sanquin Starks.
How's everybody doing tonight? I can remember the nights me and James, when we were younger, we shared a room together. I couldn't stand him. And yeah, look at me now. Look at me now. I've been talking to James all night, sending him pictures, text messages, just showing him how amazing this event is. I mean, James really wanted to be here. He's in Texas. He has 2 baby girls in a business. He couldn't make it down, but I think this is the 4th Hall of Fame induction that he's had since his retirement. And I tell you what, the Greater Buffalo Hall of Fame induction has been probably top on my list. This is just an absolute amazing event. On behalf of James, he wanted me to make sure I thanked a few people. So I just have to go this. I'm going to be very short because nobody in this room came to hear me today. James wanted to make sure we thanked our Lord and Savior for this opportunity. The University of Buffalo, Ward Manuel, Turner Gill, and his teammates and his teachers there. James, he loves the University of Buffalo. We'd like to thank the Niagara Falls Wolverines, the Niagara Falls Boys and Girls Club, and the Cataract Little Loop football program in Niagara Falls, New York, where James first started to play football. He also would like to thank all of his family, especially his older brother, who he owes a nice dinner to. All right. Thank you guys so much for the induction. God bless you all.
Our next inductee into the class of 2025 is Jim Peel.
James Peel came to the University at Buffalo after a successful college football career. Peel was a 3-year starting quarterback for Purdue and led the Boilermakers to 2 Big Ten championships and was named All Big Ten quarterback in his junior and senior seasons. Following his graduation, he joined the staff at the University at Buffalo as an assistant coach. 2 years later, he was named the head coach and athletic director. In his 9 seasons as coach, he compiled a record of 38, 34, and 1. His 1947 squad went 8-1, scoring 258 points and giving up only 79. Peel was noted for playing Leland Jones, the first African-American player in Bulls history, against Johns Hopkins University in 1942. Under his leadership as athletic director, the Bulls' 1958 football team declined an invitation to the Tangerine Bowl because the host organization was going to prohibit UB's 2 African-American players to compete in the game. Peel also served as the school's baseball coach in 1949 and again from 1952 to 1967. During this time, he revised the entire program. Not only did he manage the team to a 187-74 record as the skipper, he also led the construction of the baseball field at the university's Main Street campus. He literally cut down the trees and built the first backstop himself. As the athletic director from 1936 to 1969, Peel established the university's presence in major intercollegiate competition in several sports. And for that, he is widely recognized as the father of modern intercollegiate athletics at UB. In 1968, Peel became the first honorary member to be inducted into the UB Athletic Hall of Fame. In 1972, the baseball field on the Main Street campus was named in his honor, and in 1984, the field on the school's Amherst campus was dedicated to him. James passed away in 1976 in Amherst, New York. James Peel, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction is the University at Buffalo Athletic Department, represented by Jeremy Applegate, the Associate Athletic Director for Major Gifts and Premium Seating. And speaking on behalf of James Peel's family is Jeremy Applegate.
Good evening. James Peel's family is unable to be with us tonight. It is our privilege to induct him posthumously into the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. James Peel was more than an athletic director. He was a builder of programs, of people, and of a culture rooted in resilience, respect, and a relentless pursuit of excellence. During his tenure, James guided UB athletics through times of growth and challenge with steady leadership and bold vision. He believed that sport was more than competition. To James, athletics was education, a proving ground for character, teamwork, and leadership. He pushed for academic integrity, supported student athletes on and off the field, and laid the foundation for programs that would thrive for decades to come. While we sadly do not have a chance to hear him speak tonight, his actions spoke louder than any words. To the athletes he mentored, the coaches he empowered, the programs that he fought for, and the values that he stood by, please join me in honoring the legacy of James Peel with pride, gratitude, and an endearing spirit of a true builder of champions. Thank you.
Our next inductee in the class of 2025 is John Murphy.
A native of Lockport, New York, John Murphy has lived the dream of countless sports fans in Western New York, documenting the action and news for our community's beloved college and professional sports teams. He graduated from the S.I. Newhouse School of Public Communications at Syracuse University, and his play-by-play experience began as a high school football announcer at WLVL Radio in Lockport. He became a regular voice on radios across Western New York as the host of One-on-One Sports on WBEN AM. In addition to his nightly radio show, Murphy could be heard calling play-by-play action for the Buffalo Bisons, Niagara University, Canisius College basketball, and UB football. In 1984, Murphy joined the Buffalo Bills broadcast team as the color analyst, working alongside the legendary Van Miller. When Miller retired after the 2003 season, Murphy was named the play-by-play voice of the Buffalo Bills, a position he held until 2023.
Touchdown! Touchdown, Tyrod Taylor!
In addition to his work behind the mic, Murphy became a familiar face in front of the camera, serving as sportscaster and then sports director, first at WKBW-TV and later at WIVB-TV. He also worked for the Buffalo Bills for 12 years as host of The John Murphy Show and One Bills Live. Murphy has won numerous awards during his career, including a citation from the Associated Press of New York State for Best Sports Coverage for WBEN Radio, Art Voice Best Sportscaster, and Buffalo Spree Best Broadcast Reporter. In 2019, John Murphy was inducted into the Buffalo Broadcasters Association Hall of Fame. He was presented with the Dick Gallagher Legacy Award from the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame in 2022. And last year, he was inducted into the New York State Broadcast Hall of Fame. John Murphy, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction are the Buffalo Bills, represented by Chris Brown, Buffalo Bills play-by-play announcer and Bills Live co-host.
Thank you very much. I'm honored to be here tonight. It's been a long, difficult road. I suffered a stroke in January of '93, about 2.5 years ago, and I still can't talk. It's driving me crazy. I really miss doing the Bills games, though. I really miss doing the Bills games. I don't miss the travel. I don't miss the flights. I don't miss calling games. I don't miss calling games like last Sundays. They're not fun. I don't miss day-to-day stuff. I don't miss the contracts, all that kind of stuff. I have to say, one thing I really, really miss is I didn't get a call to do the Hallmark holiday touchdown Bill love story. I didn't get that call this year. I miss that. I was thinking about being in the Hall of Fame. I could probably set up a team if you were interested. Have the worst athlete elected to the Greater Buffalo Hall of Fame. I'd be the captain. I would. I'm a terrible athlete. I play basketball. I get 4 inches for a leap, off the ground. Struggle to break 100 playing golf. I could probably line up some pretty good players though. Vic Urgy, you could probably be in a team if you want to be. I would think. You ever play golf with Larry Phelps? I could beat Larry Phelps at golf. I could play Larry Phelps, so he could be all. Congratulations to my fellow inductees, especially Mike Britkowski, Vice and General Manager. Mike is a former intern of ours at BEN Radio, and he was the intern. We had the Sabres on the radio. He was the intern. He did the Sabres games. His job was to make sure Rick Jeanneret got a cold six-pack of Budweiser in his car before he left the game, every game. He did. Also, I congratulate Kathy Sweet. Used to live on my street, Nobble Road in Orchard Park. I think we might be the only street that had 2 Hall of Famers. I think it's only a little get up. Congratulations to all the Hall of Famers. They did a great job. Thanks to John Maddock and to my host, Ron Burrich, for helping me this week, this month, 6 months ago, helped me out, helped me get through everything, helped me learn the ropes, show me around Buffalo a little bit. Ron tried to do that on the way. I'd like to thank a number of people who I used to work with. The late Larry Felser, the late Larry Levitt of WBN Radio, John DeMurle, Dave May, Doug Wolf, Greg Harvey, and the producers of Bills Radio on BEN. I did buy some baseball, as you saw on the video. I'd like to thank Bob and Major Rich who are here tonight, and Terry Collins who was here tonight too, and the former manager, one of the 4 years I did buy some baseball. Thank you very much, Terry. I'll have a round of applause for Terry Collins. Great guy and a great manager. I'd like to thank Bob McEwen and Brenda Brennan and Bob Dingwall and Jeff Russo and everybody at Channel 7, all the people at Channel 7 I worked with there. Jay Bonfeet and Tim Milligan, producers at Channel 7. Tim Milligan's here from Atlanta. I'd like to thank you for coming up. Thank you, Jimmy. Paul Peck and Jay Harris and Jackie Walker, Don Postas, and all the people at Channel 4. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Keith Radford at Channel 7 also. Couldn't be with us tonight. Chris Brown, Steve Tasker, Mark Honan, Jeff Matthews, Russ Brandon, Scott Berthold, Bud Carpenter, and all the people at the Bills. I had a great time working at the Bills the last few years. My co-author on my book, the book is still available, by the way. It's called If These Walls, wait a minute, what's it called? If These Walls Could Talk is the name of the book. My co-author is here tonight, Scott Petoniak. Scott, thank you very much for coming. Thanks to Jack Armstrong and Pete Weber and Joe Mahalik and Pete Lonergan, Mike McDonald, my basketball coach and friends. Thank you, all of you, for contributing most of your friends, most of your friendship, really. You've all been good friends of mine through the years, and you've all played a major role in whatever success I had because I had such good friends. Thank you very much. It was like a big party, wasn't it? Everybody got along, too. My family is here. I'd like to welcome my sisters, and thank you for coming. My sisters, Diane Revlis, Barbara Murphy, her husband John DeSimone, Gene Murphy, Patrick Murphy. Thank you all for your constant encouragement and support and love over the last years especially. My three brothers are not here tonight. They deceased. Mark, so-called the best athlete among the brothers. All you have to do is ask him. Matthew was hardest working of the Murphys, and all you have to do is ask him that too. And Paulie, by far the greatest sports fan among all the Murphy clan. This is his room, really. He ran the Buffalo Convention, he ran this room. All the family members, thank you very much, and thanks for helping me out. Also, my two sisters, Gail Murphy and Kim Murphy, who are here tonight as well. My immediate family is here, my two boys, young men, they're becoming young men. My son, Jack, I'd like to apologize to them because I'm very sorry for missing important events in life because I was working all the time. But I have time now, and I'm willing to play makeup now. My son Jack and his girlfriend Sarah are here tonight, and my son Mark and his wife Lexi are here tonight. Thanks a great deal. Mark's a lawyer in private practice in Niagara Falls. Lexi is a lawyer, in-house counsel for a Buffalo firm. Their two children, my grandchildren, Cormac and Frankie, are here tonight, and they are lawyers for Toys R Us, I think. Finally, I'd like to send a special thank you to my wife, Mary. I can't thank you enough, really, for all that you've done for me, especially in the last few years. What a good, honest person you are, and really take care of me in a great way. You really, I love spending so much time with you, and I'm looking forward to growing old with you. Which brings me to the final part. I am still available. I'm not for broadcast. I realize I don't talk well, but I can write and I can think, and I might be able to help out whatever you're involved in sports in Buffalo. Thank you very much for tonight. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, John.
Don Paul called and said you went 2 minutes and 14 seconds over. You know, this is one of my favorite assignments during the entire season, the chance to be a part of this amazing event. But this year in particular, because of some of the people up here, it's even more special for me because some of the folks up here have been incredible influences in my life and my career. People I've known forever, people have made a difference in my life, and that starts with John Murphy. From the minute I walked in the door to Buffalo in 1988, he has been a friend and a mentor, and it was Murph that recommended me to fill in for him on a UB football broadcast in 1991 that started an amazing 26-year run as the voice of UB football. Murph, thank you for that. One of the most memorable moments of those 26 years was brought to me by James Starks, a double overtime touchdown run in 2008 to beat Bowling Green and send the Bulls to the MAC championship game and put the program on the mark, and with a lot of great stuff to come. And of course, as you heard from Jim Peel, there might not be any Division I athletics at UB without him. That would have cost me a job and would have limited my ability to yell bullseye to finding a good deal at Target. So thank you very much for Jim Peel. When I first interviewed for this job here in Buffalo back in 1988 with Van Miller, it was held at Pettibone's Grill in then Pilot Field, and that was the first chance I ever had to meet Mike Buczkowski. And when I was asked to follow in Van Miller's shoes as the host of the bowling show Beat the Champ, one of the first calls I made was to Jack Jurek to find out, Jack, what am I supposed to say as a bowling announcer? Thank you for all of those individuals for making a difference in my life. And hey, guess what? Kathy, Megan, Jillian, and Claire, you guys are pretty darn awesome as well, too. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this amazing event. Thank you. Our next honoree in the class of 2025 is Tom Montemage.
Buffalo is known around the country for its character, determination, and grit, traits that Thomas Montemage demonstrated throughout his life, both on his bicycle and in the community. Born in 1927, Montemage rose from the streets of Buffalo to compete on the world's biggest stage as an Olympic cyclist. At a young age, Montemage demonstrated not only raw talent, but immense discipline and a profound love for competition. Drafted into the Army near the end of World War II in 1945, Montemage's athletic prowess caught the attention of many when he won a cycling competition representing Fort Dix and Crystal Beach, igniting his dream of competing at the Olympics. He later qualified for the USA Olympic team and competed in the 1948 London Games, where he finished 6th in the sprint. In 1952, he qualified for the Helsinki Olympics. He returned to the Olympics one more time, representing the USA in Tokyo in 1964. One of Montemage's proudest cycling records was his time of 1 minute and 4.2 seconds for the half-mile indoor at Buffalo's Connecticut Street Armory. Remarkably, this record was set before cycling tracks were banked, adding to the feat's difficulty. As an Olympian representing the United States, Montemage competed with some of the world's finest cyclists. Reflecting on his Olympic experiences, he once remarked, "There's fun in competition. I didn't make money, but it didn't matter. I beat the best in the country. I just had fun. That was the best time to ride." While his moments of international glory were significant, it was his commitment to his community and his lifelong love for cycling that truly defined his legacy. Montemage served as a member of the Buffalo Fire Department and could often be seen riding his bicycle to work. He competed well into his 50s, earning gold medals in the Empire State Games as a senior and master cyclist. Montemage trained and rode well into his 70s. Thomas passed away in 2014 at 87. Thomas Montemage, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction of Thomas Montemage is Shampoo, Travis, Besaw, and Kirshner, represented by Gene Kirshner. And speaking on behalf of Tom Montemage is his daughter, Mary Flanagan.
How exciting. First and foremost, a heartfelt thank you to everyone here and involved in the induction of my father, cyclist Thomas Montemage, into the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. It's an honor for my family to accept this award on my father's behalf. Indulge me as I share with you who my father was as an athlete and how different his life was from those of today. My dad's biggest cycling accomplishment was 3 appearances in the Olympic Games. By the time I was born, my father's Olympic era was over, and he really didn't mention it much. I remember rumblings of a flat tire close to the finish line, and my mom more than once complaining that he let my 3 brothers play with his cowboy suit that he wore in the Olympic parade, and they got it all dirty. That gorgeous cowboy hat. My father didn't care much about the swag. He was definitely not in it for the swag. He was involved in cycling for one thing, the love of the sport. Although I will say he was heavily involved in the Empire State Games in New York State, and he wore the heck out of those blue and gold tracksuits. If you know, you know. So here's a little more about what I remember. My dad would sit in his lounge chair and watch VCR tapes of the Tour de France over and over again. He was so impressed by men like Greg LeMond and Lance Armstrong and would tell me stories about how the Italian team was ruthlessly competitive. The men in the tour were considered professionals, and I would always ask my father, well, why aren't you a professional? think I was probably a teenager then. And he let me know that he was approached to do so many times, but he didn't want the hoopla, didn't want the swag, and he didn't want that to interfere with his love of the sport. When asked why he didn't use the latest and the greatest and the fanciest and the most ergonomic equipment, he said, "It's not the bike, it's the rider." I heard that a number of times. My father rode his bike to work as a Buffalo firefighter for almost 30 years. He trained on a stationary bike in my basement called rollers that were like steel drums that you set your bike on, and they sounded exactly like steel drums that you set your bike on. And with a little tiny, like 13-inch black and white TV, he would sit there in the corner of my basement for hours. That doesn't sound like fun to me, but he loved it and did it on the daily. Our neighborhood in Williamsville was exactly a mile around, and our pretty tight community grew accustomed to seeing him ride that mile over and over and over again. We would play kickball in the streets, and they would say, "There's Mary's dad. There goes Mr. Montemage. There he goes again," right? Watch out for the ball. Never got hit. But that was fun to him. My father would ride from our house in Williamsville to Colden just to ride up and down the hills by Kissing Bridge. Who does that? I guess it's a guy who really loves the sport, not the money, not the image, definitely not the swag. I mean, I would do a 5K for a t-shirt, and he would just ride to go to KB. My father would have a tough time with the name, image, and likeness controversy that drives the salaries of a lot of sports figures today. He received a $25 stipend from the Buffalo Fire Department for one of his Olympic Games, and he thought that was pretty good. I guess that was the going rate. I think he just felt lucky to still have a job when he came back. In 2012, the Olympic Games came back to London. He was there in 1948. The New York Times called my dad to include him in an article featuring the 1948 U.S. Olympic athletes. And he wasn't sure he wanted to do it. And my mom and I made him do it. I was so happy selfishly because I finally got to experience part of what it was like to be him and his big recognitions. And it was really cool and such an honor. And when the article finally came out, my dad was on the front cover of the New York Times. I thought that was really great. Thank you. It was really fun. Walked into Wilson Farms one Sunday morning, and there it was. It was really cool. So I went out and bought him the new outfit for that one, by the way. All right. The Times interview was the first time that I had the chance to really take it all in because my dad never spoke about it at home. Now I have the privilege of taking it all in again with my family, and it's super cool. At his wake, my father's friends chuckled through stories of his strength, his no-nonsense attitude, his incredible commitment, and one of his teammates talked about a story where he broke a bone at a competition in California, but they had to make it back on their plane, and my father came to his side with a roll of duct tape and a six-pack of beer. And if you knew my dad, that would sound just about right. We are humbled and thankful to those of you who pushed for this nomination, and it was a total surprise to my family. Thank you, Leo Kaminsky, for being our host. He was more like my handler. I was a little hard to get a hold of now and again. Anyways, it's a great reason to look through pictures, hundreds of little snippets of newspaper articles that my mom saved. They highlighted a storied career in cycling, starting from the roads in Buffalo to New York State, to national competitions and unbroken records, and cycling on the world stage in Helsinki and London and Tokyo. My dad would have been very hesitant to stand here and receive this honor. He wanted to be a winner, but he saw himself as just a regular guy who just really loved his bike. Dad, I want you to know that you are way more than worthy of this recognition. Tommy and I are thrilled to receive it on your behalf. Thank you.
Our next honoree in the class of 2025 is Jillian Votley.
Jillian Votley was born in Buffalo and grew up in Ellicottville, New York. While attending Ellicottville High School, she helped lead the school's soccer team to a Class D state soccer championship. Growing up just down the road from the Holiday Valley Ski Resort, she would often be found skiing from open to close whenever she could. In 1996, she graduated from SUNY Brockport and went on to win the Moguls at the North American Tour that same year, securing her berth on the United States ski team. She competed in her first 2 World Cups the following year, placing 8th in each, which secured her spot to represent the United States in her first World Championship team in Nagano, Japan. Votley returned to the podium with a 3rd-place finish at the World Cup in 2002 and landed a spot on the U.S. ski team for the 2002 Salt Lake City Olympics. 4 years later, she returned to the Olympics in Italy and became the first woman to perform a cork 720 off-axis trick.
Can she throw it? Cork 7, boom! She hits it!
Votley is a 2-time U.S. Women's Moguls national champion, and she competed for 5 U.S. World Cup teams. In 110 World Cup starts, she earned 8 podium finishes, a World Championship bronze medal, and 2 national titles. In 2002, Votley shifted gears and added cycling to her portfolio, and after 6 months of intense training, she won the 2003 Colorado State Championship. Following her ski career, Votley spent a year living and training in Colorado Springs as a member of the United States cycling team. Today, Jillian lives in Park City, Utah, where she is a certified holistic health and wellness coach and an Olympic ambassador at Deer Valley Resort. Jillian Votley, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction is Holiday Valley, represented by Dennis Eschbaugh, the president of Holiday Valley.
Thank you, everyone, for all your patience. You're sitting very still, more still than I was able to. There go those shoes. Okay, I'm a little shorter. This is my true height. Thank you all. Thank you for coming to celebrate all of us tonight and to share this great honor with us all. It's an honor to stand next to all of you and be inducted here tonight. My font is too small on my pages, so I'm just going to speak to you. I spent 13 years on the U.S. ski team, and I was very fortunate to travel the world. I got to see many beautiful sights, but I'm still that girl that grew up in the picturesque village of Ellicottville, New York, running through the fields, riding my bike everywhere I could with my sister, just living a great life, swimming in the creeks when they were overflowing, swimming in the pools, and skiing the slopes of Holiday Valley. And that's what Holiday Valley is, my sponsor tonight. So a very big, heartfelt thank you. And I'll get into that later on, but not too long. And I'll speak to that. Looking back, my Olympic dream probably came when I was born. My mom said I came into this world running, and I don't think it's really changed since. But I remember watching, do any of you remember Mary Lou Retton or Donna Weinbreck as they stood and they won their gold medals, and they stood there with their great big smiles and their larger-than-life enthusiasm and sense of, I wouldn't say sense of self, but just larger than life, and how they were just living so fully, and their mental fortitude and strength. And I thought, wow, wait a minute, maybe I can do that too. So according to my journals, my dream probably started when I was 10. I'd say it started earlier. I owe so much of my success to my parents. How can I thank them enough? I mean, you two are my heart, truly. To my brother and my sister for you being there all the way through my career and always believing in me and encouraging me. The Perlas, who are in the crowd as well, who always have had my back and came to the Olympics to cheer me on. To some other people that really shaped my lives, my grade school teacher, who's not here tonight, but Judy Brown, who taught me the love of travel, and she taught me the joy of life. She taught me to live that. And to Mary Nealon, who coached me throughout my career and has so largely shaped who I am to my very core. She taught me the value of hard work and that value of digging deep and you get back up. And I'm pretty darn good at that. Thank you, Miss Nealon. To Vicki and the late Chris Brown, who saw that little girl jumping on the diving board, and again they saw me on the diving board, and then they saw me on the slopes, and they never let me limit my dreams. They always said, get up there, keep going, dream bigger, you've got this. I thank you. You supported me financially, you supported me with product, and you never let me settle, and I thank you for that. And Jane and Dennis Ashbaugh of Holiday Valley, you'll never know the darkest hours that you reached through with those fundraisers for me, and you pulled me through, and I'll talk to that in a minute. So let me just give you a few little stories. They're pretty quick. So envision this. I'm a senior in college, and I'm doing my final. I went to school here in Brockport, but I went into a little bank in Mountain Home, Idaho, and I said, I need a loan. And they said, okay, what do you need this loan for? And I said, I'm going to ski. And they laughed at me, and I didn't laugh. And then they said, okay, what assets do you have to leverage? And I said, I don't have any assets, but I have my word, and I can give you that. And again, they laughed. And I didn't laugh. I was serious because I had my sights set on the team, the U.S. team, let alone the Olympics, which were many steps further along. And so thankfully, Mom and Dad co-signed that loan, and then it led me, so forward several months, I've more than spent that money. Now here I am, and I've got to, I'm working 3 jobs, trying to make it back, trying to live on it, and then make thousands of dollars to pay for a very expensive sport. It wasn't happening. It was not working, even if I kept working as hard as I could. So I would often quietly cry when I would go to bed at night. And one night, a friend heard me and said, why are you crying? And I said, because I have this dream, and I know it's right in my heart, but I have no idea how to fund it. I kid you not, 2 weeks later, Jane and Dennis Ashbaugh of Holiday Valley called me, unprompted, and said, can we throw a fundraiser for you? And did you know that, Dennis? Did you two know that? Yeah. And that changed my life. So, bringing it forward, let's see. So thank you for your kindness, your generosity, and for your belief in me. Yeah. Western New York is woven, thank you, into my very, very soul. It's shaped so much of who I am, the people. I was never alone as I stood there on the top of that course. I always surrounded it with the people of Western New York cheering me on. It was your shoulders that I stood on as I stood on that world stage, and I'm eternally grateful. Let's see. So to the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, I thank you for this deep honor, and thank you all for being here tonight.
We would like to acknowledge the past presidents of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame that are in attendance here tonight. We would like to ask them to stand. Brian Kavanaugh, Chuck Frawley, Therese Fortin Barnes, Warren Gelman, Greg Merkel, and Stephen Omer. And we'd also like to take a moment to thank veteran sportscaster and previous host Howard Simon and former news anchor Jody Johnston-Quattrochi for providing their skills in narrating our inductee videos this year. Our next inductee into the class of 2025 is Paul Owens.
Born in 1924, Paul Owens attended Salamanca High School, where he played football, basketball, and baseball. Owens then served in the U.S. Army in World War II as a sergeant in an engineering unit. After the war, he returned to Olean and attended St. Bonaventure University, where he played basketball and baseball. He had success on the hardwood and scored 60 points in a game for the Salamanca American Legion team in 1949. At the time, it was the second highest point total in the nation for a Legion hoopster. However, it was in baseball that Paul Owens achieved true greatness. Owens was the batting champion of the Pennsylvania, Ontario, New York League in 1951, 1956, and 1957 while playing for the Olean Oilers, then an affiliate of the St. Louis Cardinals. He was named player manager in 1955, and the team became an affiliate of the Philadelphia Phillies in 1956. Following the 1959 season, he retired from playing with a .374 batting average in the minor leagues, with some people noting that his advanced age may have cost him a shot at the majors. Following his retirement, he became a scout and was named the Phillies farm director in 1965. In 1972, he was named general manager of the Phillies, a position he held until 1984, where he developed stars like Mike Schmidt, Greg Lazinski, Bob Boone, and Larry Bowa. As general manager, Owens' teams won 3 consecutive National League East titles in 1976, 77, and 78, and their first World Series title in 1980. He also managed the Phillies in 1972 and 1983-84 with a record of 161 and 158. The Phillies honored him in 1986 by creating the Paul Owens Award, which is presented annually to the organization's best player and pitcher in its minor league system. Paul passed away in 2003 at the age of 79. Paul Owens, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Accepting and speaking on behalf of the Paul Owens family is former Major League pitcher and 1980 World Series champion, Dickie Knowles.
What an honor. I'm very grateful to be here to speak on my friend Paul Owens. We called him the Pope. But I got to get something out of the way real quick. I hate to do this, but I might be the only person in here tonight with jeans on, so I want to get that out of the way. I really think this is one of the best events I've been to. And if I was in the audience and I seen somebody come up here to represent someone like my friend Paul Owens, I would probably say, what's that idiot doing? Didn't he get the memo? I had a malfunction this morning with my suit on the airplane. So don't think I came up here with my worst jeans on with these, and also with my suit shoes. So I got that out of the way. But it is an honor to be here, and I want to thank the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame for this opportunity to come up here and represent my friend Paul Owens. Pope, we called him, and I think Dick Allen gave him that name because he looked like the Pope. But he was a tough man. I called him realistically the Clint Eastwood of general managers, and I think he's the greatest general manager in our history with the Philadelphia Phillies. And we had a guy there just recently who won a few championships, at least one for us and a couple for Toronto, and Pat Gillick. But I think Pope was unique in many ways. He cared about the players. As a matter of fact, he would bring the players in to talk to him, like Greg Lazinski, Larry Bowa, Steve Carlton, and Mike Schmidt. And he didn't want yes man. He would bring them in and he would say, well, this is what I'm thinking. What are y'all thinking? And one in particular, he would look at Larry Bowa. He goes, I know you're going to go down to the field and talk about me, so tell me what you're thinking right now. So that was Pope. So that's why I refer to him as the Clint Eastwood. He was a great baseball man. He loved to win. He started that team in 1980, the ring I'm wearing today, as a result of Paul Owens. I think he contributed to that team more than anybody that I can think of, and he doesn't get enough credit. But in 1976, he built a team there with young players such as Lazinski, Bull, Smith, and he made great trades with Bake McBride, Gary Maddox, and when Pete Rose came over, and we finally won. So he was a great baseball man. He wanted to win. He was a no-nonsense guy. But he also liked to have fun. I know he was tough. He was very tough sometimes, but in a good way. But he also liked to have fun. Larry Bowa, when I came up here, found out I was coming up here. Terry, you know how Larry Bowa is. This guy is going to be 80 years old. He has more energy than anybody I've ever been around, and he can outwork anybody in this room, and he still hits fungos. He's still on the field. So Larry is probably the most hyper person I've met in my life. So Larry was in a contract year, and Davey Concepcion had signed a 3-year contract with the Cincinnati Reds, and Larry seen it. And so he called the Pope up. And that's the kind of relationship Pope had with his players. And when he called the Pope up, Pope said, why don't you come in my office and we'll talk about your contract. So Larry goes into his office, and Larry wanted me to tell you this story. So he goes into his office, and Pope is there with a yo-yo. And he's got this yo-yo, and he's just walking the dog and doing all the tricks, and Larry's watching him. And if you know Larry like me and Terry do, he's probably having a fit, underneath that skin of his going, why is he doing this with the yo-yo? And then he went around the house, around the world, whatever you call it, with the yo-yo a couple times, and Larry's sitting there impatiently, and he's looking at him. And Bowa's sitting there thinking, I'm not going to get a contract. I'm not going to get one like David Concepcion anyway. I'm not going to get a 3-year deal, and I don't know why I'm wasting my time here. And Pope walked the dog a couple more times, and he looked at Boa, and he said, I'm going to give you a 3-year contract. And Boa looked at him and said, well, why did you, I don't understand. Thank you. I didn't think I was going to get a contract, or at least a 3-year contract. And he goes, what is it with the yo-yo? And then Pope looked at him and said, I knew it would drive you crazy. And I wanted to see how long you could sit there. And you sat there longer than any speech I've ever given in a clubhouse. And when I talk about tough, in 1980, we were floundering. Pittsburgh had a great team, Montreal had a great team, and we were falling. And through the likes of our bullpen with people like me blowing leads, we were getting really almost out of the race. And we were playing in San Diego, and we had a game where one of our outfielders let 2 fly balls drop. And Pope decided on the way to San Francisco, he told Dallas Green, he said, I'm gonna have a team meeting. It's going to be a good one. If you've never been to a team meeting with Paul Owens, you're missing something. So Dallas looked at him and said, Pope, you sure you want to do this? And he goes, why not? He says, well, you got the young kids coming up. It's September the 1st. He goes, are they Phillies? And Dallas said, well, go ahead and do it. So we all gathered into this little small clubhouse in San Francisco. And Pope, it's a legendary meeting. Pope took every person apart in that room. And he took Pete Rose apart, took Bake McBride apart, took Larry Bowa apart, took apart Gary Maddox. He got Steve Carlton. He got them all. And once he was done, you could have heard a pin drop, but he didn't get any of us young guys. And that was Paul Owens. Paul Owens wanted to take care of the young guys. He believed in the farm system. He developed the farm system. And I can't thank him enough for this ring that I'm wearing today. But one thing I want to finish on with Paul Owens is that he was a dear friend. And everybody's always looked at the Ryan Sandberg trade and say, well, that wasn't very good. Well, Pope would put guys in the big leagues if it was their time. And I sat and had dinner with Dallas Green one day talking about the Ryan Sandberg trade down in Clearwater. And Dallas told me, he said, Pope was more responsible for that trade than I was. So that was Pope. And I once read by Jackie Robinson, he said, a life is not important except for the impact it has on other lives. Paul Owens had a big impact on my life, and I'm honored here to represent him along with the Philadelphia Phillies. And I want to thank you for the night that you've put forth for Paul Owens and all the other honorees here. Thank you.
Dickie, don't worry about the jeans. Jillian Violet took her shoes off right before you, so we're okay. It's the dress-down edition of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame ceremony, and that is fine. Our next inductee in the class of 2025 is Megan Sittler.
Megan Sittler attended the Nichols School and graduated in 1994. She was an outstanding softball player and was a member of the tennis team all 4 years. But it was on the ice where she truly excelled. At one of the first girls' development camps in Minnesota, organized by USA Hockey, Sittler was the highest-ranked player from New York State. While attending Nichols, she played for the Buffalo Bison's midget girls hockey team and led the Bisons to 2 straight state championships in 1993 and 1994. After graduating from high school, Sittler attended Colby College in Maine and was a member of the women's hockey team all 4 years. In her first season at Colby, she led the team to the finals of the All-American Women's Ice Hockey Tournament and earned ECAC Rookie of the Year honors. By the time she had graduated in 1998, she was a 2-time ECAC Co-Player of the Year and a 3-time All-ECAC selection, as well as NCAA scoring champion in 1996. Today, nearly 30 years after graduating, she is still Colby's all-time leading scorer. In addition to her success at Colby, Sittler has also represented the United States several times in international competition. In 1996, she played for Team USA at the Pacific Rim Women's Ice Hockey Championship. And in 1998 and 1999, she played for Team USA at the Three Nations Cup. She was also a member of the U.S. Select Team in 1999 and 2000. She also played professionally for 5 seasons for the Brampton Thunder in the National Women's Hockey League. Sittler is one of only 4 women's hockey players at Colby College to have her number retired. She was inducted into the Nichols Hall of Fame in 2014. Megan Sittler, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction is the Nichols School and Bison Hockey, represented by Barney Walsh.
So much life has happened since those days when I was excelling in sports and playing hockey at that level. And so when I received the call about being inducted into the Hall, it came as a complete shock. Since that call, I have spent a great deal of time reflecting on this honor and the gifts that playing sports have given me, and more than any of the wins, the stats, or the personal achievements, the most meaningful gifts come in the form of character. The one constant theme that keeps coming up for me stems around the act of showing up with all of your heart. Showing up is a term that is often used in sports to imply an athlete has played their heart out and brought their best to the event. But I've come to realize that the impact of showing up with your heart reaches far beyond the sports competition itself. For me, the act of showing up with heart is the common thread in everything that has meaning in my life, and why my heart is so full as I stand up here tonight. Many of you know that my dad had an outstanding hockey career. But what you probably don't know is that my mom was also a stellar athlete. She actually tried out barehanded for a third base softball position on a team of girls 2 years older than her. She didn't have her gloves, so she caught all of the balls with her bare hand and earned her spot on the team. When it came to sports, despite their talent, my parents didn't focus on stats, winning, or being the best. They valued commitment and effort. They taught us that if we made the commitment, then we must honor that commitment and keep showing up, even when we may not feel like it, or perhaps things weren't going the way we wanted. I see now that this value of showing up and putting my heart into my intentions is what allowed me to realize my potential as an athlete. But more important to me than that success is the character it was building in me, and how the same character has been what has sustained me throughout my life. It has made me the mother that I am to my beautiful boys, Sawyer and Bowen, and also what has carried me through the most painful times, one of them being losing my mom to cancer at the age of 25. I know she is here in spirit tonight, so I would like to deeply thank both of my parents for having this value yourself and making it one of mine. I'd also like to acknowledge that because your values were not about winning and being the best, I got to play all of my sports with a sense of freedom instead of carrying the burden that comes with that type of pressure. And for this, I am truly thankful. As I continue to think about this value, it makes me reflect on the impact others have had on my life by choosing to show up with their hearts. I would like to acknowledge my brother, who is not here tonight, and my sister Ashley, who is here. Ash, I watch you live your life, and you surely deserve a gold medal for how often you show up with so many people, and you do it with such a genuine and beautiful heart. I think about the women that were the part of the first ever girls Bison hockey team. In the early years, they spent losing many of their games by double digits. And I would like to thank them for continuing to show up and keep playing despite the outcome. And because of this, the Bisons became my first ever girls hockey team and continues to be for so many other young women. I think about Frank Sikelli, the former Nichols boys varsity coach, who is also here tonight, and who allowed me to practice with the boys team and gave me the courage to show up, even though I felt so intimidated. I also think about feeling so shattered after being cut from the Olympic team when I was 21, and the support of my family and so many past teammates, past coaches, teachers from Nichols, parents of teammates throughout my sports career who all showed up for me and helped me to believe in myself again, which some of them are also here tonight. I think about when my mom died and my former teammates from Team USA drove 5 hours from the Olympic Training Center in Lake Placid to come to her wake just to show up for me, even though they were told by the head coach they were not allowed to go. And soon after that, 5 of my friends from Team Canada who were training in Calgary got together to send me a plane ticket to come visit them when they heard the news of my mom's passing because they were unable to show up for her funeral. I think about Sarah Gelman, my former teammate and friend here tonight, who showed up on my behalf and did a live interview at the press conference with all of the other inductees because I wasn't able to make it. I also think about my former and current hockey teammates who are here now and how much it means to me that despite all you have going on in your life, you chose up to show up for me tonight. When I was 15 years old, I almost quit playing hockey, and this is when I met Warren Gelman. Warren is a member of the Hall and founded the Buffalo Bison's girls hockey program in 1986, where there were no existing teams in Western New York. He offered me an opportunity to show up to a Bison's practice, and the rest is history. He is the reason I am standing up here tonight. I can't even put into words how thankful I am to you, Mr. Gelman, for being the person that you are and having the character and heart to show up for all of us girls so that we too had a place to play this amazing sport. Without you, I would not have the amazing friends I've had made through hockey and meaningful memories, and honestly, I truly feel that by creating a place for girls to play hockey, you have given so much more than you realize. Personally, you provided me with an outlet to build strength and confidence, which in turn built the aspects of my character I've needed most in my life. My parents instilled the value, and you gave me a safe place to practice it. And this has proved to be more meaningful to me than any other achievement or success. Thank you to the organizers of this event, the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame, for this honor, the selection committee for choosing me, and a sincere congratulations to each inductee being honored here tonight. Thank you.
Our next inductee in the class of 2025 is Jack Jurek.
Jack Jurek started bowling when he was 8 years old and was a member of a travel league when he was 13. But it was on the lanes of Lackawanna High School where he started to demonstrate his prowess. As a sophomore, he bowled a .279 and a two-game total of .525, which helped the Steelers set an all-time ECIC team record of 1133. He earned All-Star status that first year, leading Western New York with a .206.5 average. He recorded his first 300 in 1980. After graduating from Lackawanna, he continued his bowling career at West Texas State University on what became known as one of the greatest teams in college bowling history. As a member of the Buffaloes, Jurek was a two-time collegiate All-American. After graduating from West Texas, Jurek continued his career as a successful professional bowler. He was named Bowler's Journal Bowler of the Year in 1984 after winning the AMF World Cup Championship in Sydney, Australia. The following year, he was named to Team USA, winning Team Gold, Trio Silver, and Doubles Bronze medals in the FIQ American Zone Championships in Bogota, Colombia. Jurek won the 1995 Tums Classic and the 2009 Sharks Championship.
Gets them all to kick.
In addition to those national titles, he also holds 13 Professional Bowlers Association regional titles, 3 PBA 50 national titles, including the 2024 Super Senior Classic held in Las Vegas, 3 PBA 50 regional titles, and 2 George Obenauer Masters titles. And earlier this year, he won the first ever PBA 60 tournament title. In 2006 and 2011, he was awarded the PBA's Steve Nagy Sportsmanship Award. Locally, Jurek is a USBC Silver certified coach and currently operates his bowling pro shop, Bowler's Choice, at Transit Lanes. He was named the Greater Buffalo United States Bowling Congress Bowler of the Year in 1992, 1994, and 2001. Jack Jurek, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction of Jack Jurek is Transit Lanes, represented by Bill Truman.
Not much of a reader, so hopefully this will go all right. First, I'd like to start by thanking Greg Merkel for nominating me for this tremendous award. I've known Greg for a long time now, ever since he claimed our high school stole our prom song. So we go back a long way, and it's truly an honor to be here. Like everybody here tonight, family plays a big part of success that we've all had. I'm very fortunate to have my brother Tom, and my two sisters Kathy and Ann here, and their families to share this night with me. Also very lucky to have Laura make the trip up from California to be here. Thank you so much for helping me enjoy life on and off the lanes. Quickly, I'd like to thank Transit Lanes and Phil and Donna Perna for everything that they have done for me over the years. I've had my shop there 32 years, and they've provided me with so much opportunity to continue to hone my game, and I can't thank them enough for all they've done. Along with that, the Greater Buffalo Bowling Association, they run some tremendous tournaments for us, the open hour being my favorite of all. Winning twice, very, very hard tournament to win, and it's been a great honor to try and represent them the best way that I can. What started out as a simple tag along with my father to the bowling center quickly became a passion for me that just still won't go away. I would spend countless hours in my basement bowling with my plastic pins. I'd take masking tape, set it up on the floor to make sure I'd set up the pins on spot every time. I'd even use my dad's beer cases as the sideboards to try and make it as realistic as possible. Truly, I've been blessed. Bowling has blessed me with so much over the years that I've never even realized until recently. It provided me the opportunity to go to college for 4 years at West Texas State, where we participated in the national championship all 4 years. Unfortunately, never coming across with a win there. That's my one of my biggest downfalls, is just not getting a national championship there. I got to represent the United States at the World Cup in Sydney, Australia, and I won the gold medal there, which was an unbelievable event and feeling for me. After that, I got to participate on Team USA in Bogota, Colombia, where also, obviously, we won a team gold. There's something truly special about wearing the red, white, and blue that words can't do it justice. Because of bowling, I got to visit the White House and meet President Ronald Reagan and Vice President George Bush, something that never would have happened without bowling. I even got to bowl some shots on the lanes right there at the White House. Definitely something that not everybody gets a chance to do. One of the other great things that bowling gave me was I got to be interviewed by Chris Schenkel after I won my first title in 1995. Something I dreamed about as a kid, watching the Pro Bowlers Tour all those years. And to actually have it happen, still to this day, hard to believe. Although I felt my professional career didn't produce as many victories as I'd hoped for, I've now had a chance to look back on my career. 2 national titles, 2 PBA 50 titles, 2 PBA 60 titles, and winning some sort of PBA event over the last 5 decades. Truly, very fortunate to be able to have done all of that. If my body can stay healthy and my game should stay at somewhat this level, I'd like to make it a 6th decade. This is the part that I save for the end, because those of you who know me, it may not be easy to get out. But there's so many people that helped me along the way, supported me my whole life, that aren't here today. Grandparents, aunts and uncles, cousins, so many coaches along the way. Too many to name, but hopefully they realize how much they've meant to my career. My parents, Jerry and Eileen, they did everything they could to help me. Financially, they provided. They traveled to watch me bowl whenever they could. My father even went to Australia just to be there for me. I couldn't have asked for better parents. My only regret is they couldn't be here. I hope they know they're proud. I hope they're proud. That's all. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jack. Congratulations.
Good job, Jack. Using your dad's beer cases to practice bowling in your basement in Lackawanna might be the most Western New York thing ever said on this stage. And if they were Jenny Cream Ale, it is absolutely the most Western New York thing ever said. Yes, thank you. Congratulations, Jack. Our next inductee in the class of 2025 is Kathy Sweet.
While Kathy Sweet is recognized in the courtroom as one of the top attorneys in Western New York, it was her dominance on the court that first brought her notoriety. At Clarence High School, Sweet led the girls' basketball team to 4 Section 6 titles and set records for most points in a game, in a season, and in a career. The Clarence Red Devils won the Far West Regional Championship in 1981 and 1982. In 1982, Sweet was named First Team All-Western New York and the MVP of 1982 State Basketball Tournament. She finished her high school career with 1,484 points, which was the 3rd highest total at the time. She continued her basketball career at Boston College and became recognized as the first dominating pivot player in BC history. When she graduated from BC, she had collected 1,006 points, pulled down 597 rebounds, and is one of only 14 BC players with 500 points and 500 rebounds. In her senior year, she recorded a team-leading 42 blocks, and she led the team with 227 rebounds. She was named to the Big East All-Rookie team and earned second-team All-Conference honors in her junior and senior seasons. In 1987, she was awarded Big East Scholar Athlete of the Year and was named to the Big East All-Tournament team. Following her graduation from BC, she earned her law degree from Villanova University, and she has been recognized 5 times as the Lawyer of the Year Medical Malpractice Defense by Best Lawyers in America, and the Lawyer of the Year by the Defense Trial Lawyers of Western New York. Earlier this year, Sweet was sworn in as the 128th president of the New York State Bar Association. Kathy was inducted into the Boston College Hall of Fame in 2004 and the Clarence High School Athletics Hall of Fame in 2005. Kathy Sweet, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring the induction is Gibson, McCaskill, and Crosby, represented by Judge Melissa Zittel.
Jillian, this is my real height, too. Good evening. So my name is Kathleen Sweet. I'm an attorney here in Buffalo, and I'm here to accept this honor on behalf of Kathy Sweet. I can tell you that she has, and I have, had a very blessed life. I want to thank the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame and its board of directors. I also want to thank Paul Peck. I think your enthusiasm for this event is the secret sauce for the whole thing. Thank you, Paul. No objection. I also want to extend a special personal thanks to my sponsor and Empire State Games teammate, Dorothy Jones. Dorothy, DJ. To Jude Caserta, who worked tirelessly on this event while going through very intense treatment for cancer. You have incredible strength and the patience of a saint and the voice of an angel. Thank you from all of us, Jude. To my coach from Clarence High School, Charlie Vesper, no one invested more time in Kathy when she was an awkward, clumsy, skinny, work in progress, to say the least. And to Elizabeth Dunn, who coached me in both basketball and volleyball, your steady friendship is something I will always value. Thank you both for writing letters in support of my nomination for this recognition. My college coaches, Margot Plotsky and Carrie Fair, both of them impacted my life in so many good ways. And my Empire State Games coaches, true legends in Western New York, and all well-deserving members of this Hall of Fame, Mike Rappel, Sal Biscaglia, and Sister Maria Perez. How lucky was I to have been coached by all of them. They were trailblazers for women's basketball in Western New York. Trailblazing might sound like fun 40 years later, but it's very hard work. Each of my coaches in their own way pushed me beyond my comfort zone as an athlete, as a teammate, and as a person. They helped me become a better version of myself. I also want to thank my informal coaches and teammates, the many men who over the years let me join in their pickup games at various parks and gyms. I know at least one of you is here this evening. You were ahead of your time, and thanks for letting me play. Yes, men are great, but above all, this honor celebrates women lifting each other up. It celebrates girls being allowed and encouraged to compete, strive, fail, succeed, and learn resilience and achieve things together. Dorothy, Yvette Angel, Cara Hahn, thank you. I know you had everything to do with this, and I love you all so much. Team sports are, in my view, the best possible training for life. The work, the common goals, the friendships, mentoring, and yes, the silliness that comes from high school girls and young women college athletes. It's really pure joy. As 60-year-old women, we still can make each other laugh so hard that we cry when we are together. We've been encouraging and supporting each other for close to 40 years, and I owe that to basketball, the bringing us together. My life is richer because all of you have been in it. To my fellow inductees, I am so honored to be in your company, and especially you, John Murphy, my longtime neighbor. You have shown our entire community what it means to be a Buffalonian. Not just your incredible talent, but your grit, your humor, determination, perseverance, and service. Thank you for setting an example for all of us. Last, I want to thank my family, my mom and dad, Jane and David Sweet, my grandparents, Stan and Wilma. They would be so proud tonight. My sisters, Sue and Laura, who are here tonight, thank you for making this evening so special for me. My children, Caroline and Michael, well, they're grown-ups now with important jobs in Boston and DC, and they couldn't make it home, but they know how much I love them and how proud of them I am. And to Brian Fredericks, my husband of 30 years. It's funny, we met shortly after my basketball career ended violently with a torn ACL while playing in the men's division of a Gus Macker tournament, right outside this very building. I was actually still in the big knee immobilizer brace on our first date. Very sexy. Brian never saw Kathy play. He never knew Kathy Sweet, but he has patiently seen Kathleen Sweet through the middle-aged aftermath of having played basketball for decades. Thank you for always bringing me my ice packs. You are my favorite teammate. Finally, to my friends from the legal community who are here, and to all of you here tonight, who celebrates sports in our community. You're the best. Thank you for this tremendous honor. I will cherish it forever, and go Bills.
Thanks, Kathleen. Thank you. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Kathy. Our final inductee in the class of 2025 is Mike Buczkowski.
Born and raised in South Buffalo, Mike Buczkowski attended Bishop Timon High School. He played 3 years of varsity baseball and hockey for the Tigers and earned all Catholic honors as a hockey player. Buczkowski continued his hockey career at Canisius College and served as the team captain of the Golden Griffins. But he literally had baseball in his blood. His grandfather, Huck Geary, played shortstop for the Bisons from 1935 to 1937 and played in the major leagues for the Pittsburgh Pirates from 1942 through 1943. In 1987, he returned to the world of baseball and joined the Buffalo Bisons organization. He held several roles in the team's communications department before being named general manager in 1993. By the time he was appointed president of Rich Baseball Operations in 2019, he had become the longest tenured general manager in Bison's history. During Mike's time as the Bison's general manager, the club led their league in attendance 7 times, including the International League's all-time attendance record set in 1998. In 2001, the Bisons won the prestigious Bob Freitas Award, presented annually to a franchise for overall operational excellence, becoming the first AAA team to win the award twice, also in 1991. In his current role, Buczkowski has direct oversight of the 3 professional teams owned by the Rich Entertainment Group: Bisons, the Northwest Arkansas Naturals in AA, and the West Virginia Black Bears in A. During 2020 and 2021, he successfully managed the organization's efforts that brought Major League Baseball and the Toronto Blue Jays to Buffalo during the COVID-19 pandemic. In 1999, Buczkowski was honored with Business First's 40 Under 40 Award and was named Parochial Baseball League's Man of the Year in 2000. Buczkowski was inducted into the Bishop Timon High School Sports Hall of Fame in 2010 and into the school's John Timon Society in 2022. In 2019, he was named International League Executive of the Year, and in 2024 was inducted into the Buffalo Baseball Hall of Fame. Mike Buczkowski, forever enshrined in the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame.
Sponsoring Mike's induction are the Buffalo Bisons and Salen's Sports Park, represented by Mike Perita, Director of Ticket Office Operations for the Bisons, and Alex Salen, President of the Western New York Flash soccer team.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you to the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame Board of Directors for this amazing honor, and special thanks to my host, Tom Burns. Congratulations also to all of our inductees. It's been quite a night. Okay, first things first. My friends who are here said they will walk out if I don't emphasize that I am not being inducted for my athletic achievements tonight. So now they can all stay, right? Nice friends, right? But I really do. I have great friends, and it was tremendous to see so many of them here tonight. Many I didn't know were going to be here, so that was pretty emotional for me until they told me they were here to see Murph. So standing here tonight as an inductee is both humbling and surreal. To be included among the legends that have been inducted and have helped define the sports history of Buffalo and our city is an honor beyond words. But it's not an honor that's mine alone. I share it with everybody that's here supporting me tonight, and I'm grateful that you all are here and proud to share this moment with you. I had the privilege of serving as the Bison's general manager for 26 seasons, and now as the president of Rich Baseball Operations. And I've been blessed to work with some of the greatest people, most dedicated, passionate people you can imagine. I see Joe Segura here and John Dandy's here. I was going to point out Terry Collins, but he's already got about 3 shout-outs, so I'll save that. And so many of our front office staff that is here as well. Thank you all for being here. But it all starts with 2 people, Bob and Mindy Rich, who are here tonight. Their leadership, their trust, their mentorship have been extraordinary for me. They've given me the space to grow, the confidence to lead, and have been the example for me to follow. Thank you, Bob and Mindy. To my aunts, uncles, cousins, nieces, nephews, and especially my sisters, Kathy and Kelly, your unwavering support has been the foundation for everything that I've been lucky enough to accomplish. My mom, who is here tonight, my dad, who no doubt is watching from above, thank you for instilling in me the values of hard work, perseverance, humility, and love for Buffalo. Your example has guided me every step of the way. My children, Jennifer and Michael, my pride and joy, I'm proud to be your dad, and I love you guys. My extended family, Claire and Mookie, Billy and Jessica, the Smith family, the Concanon family, the Durthick family, thank you all for being here as well. And to Diane, my best friend, my anchor, the one who has helped me recognize and really appreciate the people and the moments that truly make life so great. And she's my best reality check, too. Like on the way here when she was telling me how happy she was for me and what a great night it was going to be, and then quickly reminded me that it's also garbage night tonight. There are so many other people that I want to thank, but I only have a couple of minutes up here. But please, if you can, take a look at the program book and look at my thank you page. So many people have been great to me over the years. Okay, one quick story. April 14th, 1988 was one of the greatest days in Buffalo sports history. Murph was behind the mic with Pete Weber. It was the day that the ballpark opened for the very first time. A sellout crowd, over 19,000 people were there on a cold and blustery day. Every local media outlet was there, and many national media outlets as well, including Spencer Christian from Good Morning America. It was the first time fans were ever allowed in the ballpark. We had no soft opening. We didn't have an exhibition game. Heck, they were still painting some of the walls the day before we opened. About 30 minutes before the gates were scheduled to open, I heard this on our walkie-talkie. First aid to section 100, busters down, busters down. Didn't know what was going on. Buster apparently touched a live wire and was jolted onto the seat of his pants in the concourse. A few minutes later, as Governor Mario Cuomo, Mayor Jimmy Griffin, Bob and Mindy, and the other dignitaries were cutting the ribbon, which signaled the gates to open, I heard this: do not open the gates. Hold everyone back. The steel rods are falling from the banners. Take cover. Take cover, busters down. I'm thinking we're opening a death trap. And I could see the headlines in all of the newspapers across the country. Thousands die at ballpark opening in Buffalo. Thankfully, everything came together perfectly. The Bisons won the game 1-0, and the ballpark earned glowing reviews from not only people here in Buffalo, but from everyone across the country. And that day marked the beginning of record-breaking fan support and what would become the golden era of Bison baseball. And oh yeah, Buster was okay too. Over the years, Salem Field has been a place where millions have cheered on the future stars of Major League Baseball. And there was no better example, right, than during this past World Series, where every starting player for the Blue Jays in Game 7 once wore a Bison's uniform. And it's also the place where Major League Baseball, where people in Buffalo got to see Major League Baseball for the first time in over 100 years. But Salem Field is more than just a place where baseball is played. It's a bridge between generations, and it's a place that brings families, friends, and even strangers together to create unforgettable shared memories. Salem Field stands as an important part of our history and of our future, and I can't wait to see what's next. I'll end with this. One of my mom's favorite sayings is, don't look for recognition. Keep doing good, and you'll be rewarded in heaven. Well, tonight, thanks to the love and support of so many people, I don't have to wait for heaven to be rewarded. Thank you and good night.
All right, remember at the beginning when I said all rise and I didn't mean it? Now I mean it. How about we all rise and honor this year's class of inductees of the Greater Buffalo Sports Hall of Fame. I will ask all the inductees to meet at the trophy in front of the stage and proceed to the reception area to meet with family and friends. As we wait for them, let's give them one more big, well-deserved round of applause. Congratulations to all of our inductees this evening, and thank you all for being a part of another memorable night in Western New York sports. We hope to see you again at next year's ceremony. Thank you, everyone, and good night.